everyone, today we're going to be talking about some key tips on how to stay alive more in Apex Legends Season 5. Now, I did make a video on this many months ago, sometime last year, but since then, players have gotten better in this game. There are more sweatier lobbies than ever, and you guys need to know how to stand out from the rest in this game. Now, if you enjoyed today's video and you want to support it further, be sure to scroll down right now, give this video a thumbs up to support the video further, and be sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future tips videos, gameplay videos, and also update videos on this game. If Apex ever do decide that in the rare occasion they want to release content for this game halfway through a season, it would be quite bizarre, but it might happen, you never know. So today we're going to be talking about some key tips that I actually integrate naturally in my game, and once you start getting the hang of these tips, you'll naturally be doing this every single time you're in a dangerous situation and you just need to retreat from enemies. The first tip we're going to be speaking about is strafing towards cover during a gunfight. Now, I actually do this naturally, and I was shocked at myself when I was going through the gameplay and organising today's video. I was shocked at how naturally I integrate this in my game, and I don't even realise it myself. Most experienced players or above average players do this every single time if they have the opportunity to do so. And that is essentially strafing towards the cover when you've been dealt a lot of damage. If you guys take a look at this example here, as you guys can see, I happen to one clip this guy, but throughout the gunfight, halfway through the gunfight, I actually start strafing towards the cover. So if I do want to retreat from the enemy and I feel like I've been dealt enough damage and it gets to the point where the gunfight is a flip of the coin, it's 50-50, I can retreat much easier because I'm essentially so close to the cover. All I have to do is just move a little bit more to the right, about an inch, and then I've disconnected from the enemy and I can run away. Now, when strafing in this game, of course you want to strafe left and right, but towards the end of the gunfight, if you can naturally just strafe closer towards the cover, so if you do need to retreat, you can do so. That will save your life many times in this game, and I'll show you guys another example because I do this so many times. As you guys can see here as well, I'm strafing naturally towards the cover so I can disconnect from the enemy if I need to. Now, this is something you guys can do very well in this game. Now, when you've decided that you want to fully retreat from the enemy, you can still fire a few shots and then just fire whilst you're retreating at the exact same time. I don't know why I'm pretending to hold a gun. I feel like I need to show you a real example right now. Moving on to the second tip, I'm going to talk to you guys about how to build up a retreat instinct. Now, this also ties into the first tip, but a retreat instinct is something pro players and experienced players have integrated naturally into them. And after me playing this game for ever since it launched, actually, I have a retreat instinct built into me, and essentially within the first quarter of a second of the gunfight, I can determine if I have the advantage or the enemy has the advantage. Now, if the enemy deals the first chunk of damage into you, you don't want to engage with that at all. You want to get straight out of there, and the temptation is there, of course. You want to be tempted into continue on with the gunfight, but it's much better staying alive and fighting the enemy at a later stage than just going down and potentially being brought back into the lobby. Now, I actually get drawn into temptation sometimes myself, but if I engage in a gunfight with an enemy and I feel like it's at a 50-50 chance, as you guys can see in the background, I will instantly just retreat and just come back at the enemy when I'm ready. The only time you want to continue on with the gunfight is if you feel like you have a 70%, 80% chance of winning, and if you have no choice, then that's when strafing comes in quite handy if you haven't got any cover next to you. The hardest part about having a retreat instinct, and the most skillful part, is being able to judge during that gunfight if you need to retreat or not. That is the hardest part, because a gunfight can last anywhere from a second to even 3 or 4 seconds, or even you can get one clipped by an R99. Being able to make a decision whilst in a gunfight and whilst you're being dealt damage is the most skillful part, and naturally the more you play this game, you'll start understanding who has the true advantage when you're engaging in a gunfight. And the worst thing that can happen if you retreat is that you and the enemy heal up and you go at it again on an even playing field. But the worst that can happen if you continue on with the gunfight is you might be brought back to the lobby before you even know it. Now, the next tip I want to speak about is multitasking / understanding your surroundings. Now, if we take a look at this example here, as you guys can see, I'm noticing another enemy is also focusing me whilst I'm engaging with this gunfight. And this is times like this where multitasking and understanding your surroundings actually saves your life in many situations. So the next time you're engaging with enemies, you want to also hear around you if any enemies are shooting at you, or the presence of where other enemies are located. So as soon as you down that enemy, you can immediately focus on the other enemies. Now, as soon as I down this enemy here, my goal straight away is to just retreat as soon as possible once I've downed that enemy, because I know his teammate is after me. And as you guys can see, I down him, and then my immediate goal is to retreat straight away from the other enemy. And I'm multitasking in this situation. I'm multitasking, and I'm making sure that I don't get caught out by the other enemy. And that enemy actually pushes me, and I have the advantage going into that gunfight. I've landed the first shot, and I ended up clutching up quite well for my team there. And if there's anything we can take from this, is just understanding. It's something so simple like just hearing enemies shoot around you. If your team and an enemy team, a team of 2 are going against a team of 2, a team of 3 going against a team of 3, you can still hear shots going on around you whilst you're engaging with that enemy. And just being aware of your surroundings can do such a big thing in helping you clutch up. It's actually crazy how much of a big change it is when you just hear what's going on around you and you act fast. Notice how I also repositioned myself so the other enemy didn't get a clear shot on me whilst I was engaging with that enemy. I repositioned myself so the only person that could see me was the enemy that I was shooting at. Now, you can do this quite a lot, because when you're going against another team, they likely aren't holding hands, and they're going to be spread out to a good enough distance where you can reposition yourself behind cover, so you're only focusing on that enemy, and you and that enemy the only person that are in view of each other. So be sure to take this tip the next time you go against another team. And the last tip I want to speak to you guys about is a fairly obvious one, and that is just use a very good defensive legend. There's a reason why Wraith is the #1 picked legend in this game. The pick race just came out for season 5. She is the #1 picked legend with, I think it was a 25% pick rate or a 30 pick rate, and that's very high. And the reason for that is because she gives you that second chance that no other legend can give you in the game. And legends like Loba as well is also a very good defensive legend to get out of very horrible situations. Unfortunately, Pathfinder's grapple is one of them abilities where you just need to appreciate it while you've got it, because the likelihood is when you need his grapple, it's not going to be there for you. Even a legend like Gibby, although I don't think Gibby is as helpful as Wraith and Loba for their tactical ability, Gibby is still better than another legend such as Bloodhound, for example. Bloodhound offers no defensive abilities, and Bloodhound is not really a legend you would use if you want to focus on playing defensively or retreating from situations. But most of the legends in this game, if you notice one thing, most of them, their tactical abilities are to help you retreat from enemies or just play in a defensive playstyle. We've got Bangalore's tactical ability, we've got Gibby's tactical ability, you've got Wraith, you've got Loba, even Octane's tactical ability, Pathfinder. All of these legends have one thing in common, and that is being able to use their tactical ability in a way which you can do miracles. So be sure to pick the best legend that is suited to getting out of horrible situations. And with that out of the way, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I just wanted to bring you guys this video, giving you some key tips on how to stay alive longer, because the game is truly up there now. The level of play is getting higher, and you guys need to know how to fully stay alive in this game, because the sweats are real, the skill-based matchmaking is there, and we need to dominate in situations like this. So if you did enjoy today's video, as always, be sure to scroll down, give this video a like to support the video further, and be sure you subscribe into the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos just like this one you saw today. Thank you all for watching this Apex Legends video. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch all of you guys out in another brand new Apex Legends video.